So in this video, we're going to talk about the differences between what makes a bad leader and what makes a good leader. Thanks for stopping by the channel Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I try to help managers become leaders. And I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes sense. So like I said, we're going to talk about what makes a bad manager bad and what makes a good manager good or even great. It's not necessarily the person. Like I've worked with some bad managers, but you know what? They were good people. They did not know how to lead. And that said, I've probably worked with some good managers, but man, they were not good people. So it doesn't mean, when I say bad managers, don't look at these individuals as they're horrible people. Remember, they're people. They have flaws. But they may not have the skills, or you may consider yourself a bad manager. Don't think you're a bad person. We all start from somewhere. So let's look at a few qualities that make a bad manager and see if you're doing them. And if you are, let's fix it. And then we're going to talk about some traits or skills that good managers have. If you don't have them, learn them. They're just skills. It is what it is. You can learn pretty much anything, especially when it comes to management. So, what really makes somebody a bad manager? I'm sure you have some experiences of your own, or I'm sure you have some insecurities of your own. But here's where we're going to start. First, bad managers, they're typically or can usually be just poor communicators. They can't seem to make it clear what they're asking of people. They may think that they've told you everything you need to do the job, but they didn't really actually say it, or they said it in a roundabout way. They can't be direct when they're communicating. And that can really mess people up. Another thing with poor managers, they can't help guide you down the right path. People have no idea what their expectations are because these bad managers haven't shared their strategy, what they're looking for, how they intend to get there. Kind of ties back to being a poor communicator. When you're not sharing your strategy or the strategic plan for how the day is supposed to go or how this project is supposed to be finished, you're leading people into the woods with no map. They have no idea what's going on. So you, as a manager, as a leader, what are your expectations? You haven't shared that. So now there's no strategy for what true north is. Another thing that goes on with bad managers is that they lack decision-making skills, or they're unwilling to make a decision. Sometimes people get scared that, man, if I make the wrong decision. But here's the thing. If you don't make a decision, you made that decision to not make a decision. By default, you're wrong. So at least if you consciously say, we're going to do this because, then if you're wrong, at least you can go back on that and say, okay, here, we were wrong, or I was wrong. Don't say we. I was wrong because my intention was this, and this is not how it worked out. But at least those working for you and those working, that you're working for can see, okay, Mike had a plan. It may not have worked out even remotely close. But we can't fault him for his indecision, if that makes sense. Another thing, and this really gets to me, they pass the blame. Listen, you're the manager, you're the leader. When things don't go right, your shoulders. That's where the problem goes. When everything's going great, and this is, we'll just quickly jump into the next problem with managers or a bad manager is that when things are doing great, oh, yeah, I did that. Oh, look what I did. Yeah, I made sure that our team was on point and I made sure and I did this and I did that. You give praise to your team and then make sure you take faults for your team. Does that help? And I mean, there's lots of things that'll make a bad manager, but just one more, because we ain't got time for one of them videos. The worst thing that would make you a bad manager or makes managers bad, they're bullies. Nobody likes a bully, especially when they're the boss. As soon as, all other things This is, in my opinion, this is the worst. This is the worst. When you're downright bullying people because you think you can. Remember, you're there to work for your team. It seems like a backward concept to a lot of people, but you are to provide service to your team, to make sure that they're able to get their job done. But when you are in a position and you think it's all about you and that you get to run everything and do it this way and because I told you so, hey man, that's not going to work out. Okay? I can tell you, I've seen it firsthand. I've walked managers out the door who had this bullying or narcissist mentality, and it's not that people didn't want to help a supervisor, but when they come in guns a-blazing and they bully their way and they push their weight around, it's a recipe for disaster. Guaranteed. Now let's flip this around. What is a good manager? Like, why do you like certain managers? I've got a couple on top of my head that maybe they didn't have the formal education, but man, once they got into that leadership role, you felt comfortable talking to them. You felt comfortable bringing issues, whether it be with work or even personal, and just throwing it out there and having a discussion. This is the kind of thing that makes a great manager. I mean, let's start it off with emotional intelligence. Everybody's trying to talk, or everybody wants to talk about your IQ, but it's your EQ, your emotional intelligence, that really will set you apart as a leader. Good leaders, somehow they're able to motivate every employee. They make every employee feel like they are part of a system. They are part of the answer, and without their work, it's not going to be done right. It's a hard skill to learn, I think, because listen, you're not going to like everybody. So sometimes you may feel like you're just adding fluff, but that's not the thing. As a great manager, you can see what each individual brings and you lean on that. It's not the person. Even if you don't like the person, you're able to see the value that they bring. And that is what makes it easier to elevate everybody as part of the group. Another thing that makes a great leader or a great manager is that they're assertive. They know who they are. So even if employees or staff don't like them, don't like you, don't like me, they see that a leader walks with a purpose and they're assertive in how they deal with things. We're not talking about being a bully. We're just talking about being able to say no. And why? Being cowardly, being scared doesn't really work so well in the workplace. My wife is texting me and she's killing me. She's killing me. I need to manage how she talks over text while I'm doing video. And you know what? Next time she's getting airplane mode. I don't care. Anyway, great managers are able to create a culture of accountability. Listen, when you just vaguely throw out, this is what we got to do, and it's how life works, and this is going to be, nobody's really accountable. So people tend to, slide off to the side, extra long breaks, and just the work doesn't get done. But great leaders make it known, hey, you're accountable for this. I don't care. Like if you ask me personally, I don't care if you have 15 coffee breaks before lunch. It does not matter to me. If what's been assigned to you is complete and it's presentable, like it's good work. This whole right now, everybody's starting to work from home, and business was against it for so long because they could not make everybody accountable. They couldn't see, listen, you're on the clock for 8 hours, so I need to see you for 8 hours. No, you don't. If somebody can do the job in 4 hours, you're not going to want to pay them less. You're looking for the quality of work. So a great leader can establish the accountability and not worry about the minutes. Look at what the end product is. Another thing that great managers or great leaders can do is that they can make their decisions based on productivity, not politics. That's, it depends on where you work. If you're in an office, if you're in a huge company, politics, man, they can really get into how life in terms of work kind of takes place. But when you find a manager or a leader that doesn't play the politics game and goes after productivity, getting stuff done because this is what has to be done, and assigning work based on who is available, who can do the job, and who's gonna, step up to the plate. Not a matter of not assigning work based on, oh, I like him, so this is easy. I'll give it to so and so. Ooh, this is a tough product or a tough project. I don't like her, so yeah, I'll keep her busy, keep her out of my hair. That's not what great leaders do. Great leaders assign productivity. They don't assign based on politics. Finally, let me just finish it. What I think is the best trait of a great manager is that they establish trust and open dialogue. Like I said, you're not going to like everybody, but when you establish trust based on how performance is done, based on when you talk to me, this is our conversation, I don't need to share it with so-and-so, because then that starts gossip. When people know that they can trust you, that you can hold, I don't want to say secrets, but you can hold conversations in confidence, and you're transparent in how you make decisions and how you do your dealings, you will be given the 5-star plaque of great management. Okay, there isn't such a thing as a 5-star plaque. I mean, I can make you one. I could sell you one. But that's not the thing. So listen, guys, let me bring one thing to your attention. If you're having a hard time making decisions as to, am I a good manager? Am I a bad manager? Do I suck at certain things? And you need somebody to bounce ideas off of, I've just created an account where me and you, can do Zoom calls, 30-minute Zoom calls. Click the link below if you want to chat one-on-one with me. All I can give you is what I see from the outside looking in. There is no absolutes in anybody's work situations, so it's just me and you having a conversation, okay? And if I can help you, fantastic. That's my goal. I just help one person at a time. We'll do a chit chat, and yeah. If you like this video, check this one, because there's a lot of information there. I'm gonna finish my coffee, and I'll see you in that video.